Sheila does not intend to overhear the truth, but fate rarely asks permission when it decides to intervene. A fragment of conversation, a name spoken to carelessly, a hint of vulnerability revealed at the wrong moment is all it takes. From that instant on, Sheila Carter understands exactly where to strike. She does not rush forward with threats or violence. She retreats into silence first, letting the knowledge settle, sharpening it into a weapon that cuts deeper the longer it remains unseen. What she has learned gives her leverage, and leverage is Sheila's preferred currency. For Deke Sharp, the timing could not be worse. Freshly fired from Forrester Creations, stripped of stability and confidence, he is already standing on emotional quicksand. The loss of his job is more than a professional failure. It is a blow to his sense of worth, his fragile attempt at rebuilding a life that has never fully escaped its past mistakes. Sheila sees this immediately. To her, Deke is not a threat or an equal, but a soft link in a fragile chain, someone whose desperation makes him pliable. She corners him without raising her voice. There is no screaming, no dramatic confrontation, only carefully chosen words delivered with unsettling calm. Sheila does not demand obedience outright. She offers alternatives that are not truly alternatives at all. She reminds Deke how quickly reputations collapse, how easily truths real or distorted can surface at precisely the wrong time. She suggests that cooperation could mean protection, silence, even opportunity. Resistance, on the other hand, would mean exposure, isolation, and a return to everything Deke has been trying to outrun. The trap closes gently, almost politely. Her objective is deceptively simple. Sheila does not need Deke to commit crimes or spill blood. She needs him to observe, to listen, to plant doubt in the spaces where trust once lived. Slowly, methodically, she pressures him into becoming her eyes and ears, pushing him to create subtle misunderstandings between Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes. A misplaced comment here, a half-truth there, a suggestion delivered at exactly the wrong emotional moment is enough. Sheila understands that relationships rarely shatter from one explosive lie, they erode from accumulated suspicion. The tragedy is that Deke never truly agrees to betray anyone. He tells himself it is temporary, that he is only buying time, that once he regains his footing he will escape Sheila's grasp. Yet every attempt to pull away tightens the hold. Each small compromise becomes evidence of guilt, each silence another step away from innocence. Deke begins to realize that the more he struggles to remain clean, the deeper he sinks into moral quicksand. His fear is no longer just of Sheila, but of what he is becoming under her influence. As the pressure mounts, Deke finds himself staring at an impossible choice. Loyalty to Deacon means risking the fragile stability he has left, inviting chaos and exposure back into his life. Defying Sheila outright could cost him the quiet, ordinary future he barely dares to imagine. Yet, continuing down this path means betraying the one person who has consistently tried to believe in him. The danger is not immediate or physical, but psychological, relentless, and suffocating. Sheila has engineered a situation where there are no clean exits, only varying degrees of loss. In the end, the true horror of Sheila's manipulation is not what she forces Deke to do, but what she forces him to become. Each day he delays the truth. Each moment he allows doubt to fester between Deacon and Taylor. The distance between the man he wants to be and the man he is becoming grows wider. And somewhere beneath Sheila's calculated calm lies the certainty that when Deke is finally forced to choose, the consequences will not only destroy relationships, but permanently redefine him. The moment Deke understands that waiting will no longer save him arrives quietly, without drama, and that is what makes it terrifying. Deke Sharp realizes that Sheila is no longer merely testing his obedience. She is tightening the net, preparing to discard him once he has served his purpose. The misunderstandings she forced him to seed between Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes have begun to take on a life of their own, mutating beyond his control. Worse still, Sheila Carter starts hinting that she may soon confess everything anyway, framing Deke as the manipulator who acted alone. In that realization, Deke finally sees the truth with brutal clarity. His silence will not protect him, and his compliance will not save him. It will only ensure that he is the one left standing in the wreckage. Fear gives way to something sharper and more dangerous clarity. Deke understands that Sheila's power has always depended on secrecy and timing, on being the one who controls when the truth surfaces and how it is shaped. If he waits for her confession, he will already be condemned. If he speaks clumsily, he will be dismissed as desperate or vindictive. The only path left is to turn Sheila's greatest weapon against her, anticipation. He begins to document everything, not dramatically, not recklessly, but with quiet precision. Dates, locations, phrases she repeated, threats disguised as offers, moments where her manipulation crossed from suggestion into coercion. Each detail becomes a lifeline, a piece of a larger pattern that cannot be easily dismissed once revealed. Deke's counterattack is not an explosion, but a slow reversal of gravity. He carefully distances himself from the misunderstandings he helped create, subtly correcting narratives without exposing himself too soon. He watches Sheila closely, learning her rhythms, her impatience, the cracks in her confidence when she believes she has already won. The more Sheila senses his resistance, the more careless she becomes, convinced that fear will eventually break him. That arrogance becomes her blind spot. She assumes Deke is still reacting, still scrambling, never realizing that he has stopped running and started planning. The emotional cost of this decision is devastating. Turning against Sheila means accepting that his last illusion of safety will vanish. It means risking his fragile relationship with Deke, knowing that even the truth may not repair the damage already done. Deke wrestles with guilt that no explanation can erase, haunted by the knowledge that some betrayals leave stains even after they are exposed. Yet, for the first time since losing his job, he is acting instead of surviving, choosing agency over fear. That choice hardens him in ways he did not expect, forcing him to grow up faster than redemption usually allows. When the confrontation finally begins to take shape, it does so indirectly. Whispers reach the wrong ears before Sheila is ready. Questions are asked that mirror her own language too closely to be coincidence. She senses the shift immediately, the sudden resistance in a situation she believed was locked down. For the first time, Sheila is no longer dictating the pace of events. The truth is starting to surface out of sequence, fragmented but dangerous, and Sheila understands that if she does not act quickly, control will slip from her grasp. What makes this moment explosive is not certainty but tension. Sheila still believes she can twist the outcome, that her voice will always be louder and her narrative more believable. Deke, however, has crossed a point of no return. He knows that even if Sheila confesses first, even if she tries to frame herself as misunderstood or provoked, the evidence he has gathered will ensure that her confession no longer ends the story. It will only open it wider. In choosing to fight back, Deke accepts that there may be no clean victory, only survival with scars. But for the first time since Sheila cornered him, the fear is no longer paralyzing. It is focused, deliberate, and aimed straight at the one person who taught him how dangerous silence can